Hey, today I want to talk about one of the most underrated teams in the East, and I want to see what y'all opinion is with my take in this video. It's gonna be a long video, so you know, just listen to me out. Um, excuse me. I think the Washington Wizards are gonna be the Eastern Conference equivalent to the OKC Thunder. They might not be as good as they don't have that talent seeking as the other teams. They don't have that quality of players yet, but what they're doing is exactly the same that the OKC Thunder were doing in 2021 after they traded Chris Paul to the Phoenix Suns. What I'm trying to say is, like, in that era, like that year, they, like, 22 players played for the OKC Thunder. 22, because they kept swapping them and getting better, and swapping worse, getting worse to get draft picks. And that's why they have so many draft picks, because 22 players played for them. So that shows that they were trying to swap, equivalent, swap. And it's not a bad idea, but, like, honestly, they need, like, this year, they have 3 upcoming free agents with Chris Middleton, obviously, Marcus Smart, and CJ McCollum, my bad. CJ McCollum will be a free agent, and that clears like 90 million of that cap space. They're trying to build something. They're obviously going to probably, if they want to get like a guy from free agency that's like really good, they'll have to overpay, obviously. We know that because it's a small market team. But other than that, they really have a chance to build something special with all their youth and stuff. And I like it. I like what they're trying to do. I like how they're showing up. I just really like it. And real quick, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna see the draft picks and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Um, the Washington Wizards have obviously their first pick that's protected, from 1 through 8, and they swap rights with Phoenix. So if Phoenix is bad, they could swap. And it's more favorable. Honestly, I don't know, like, the picks like that, but after what I'm saying, every year they have a pick, and in 2028 they have their pick, or they could swap with Brooklyn, Phoenix, Philly, Portland, or Milwaukee in swap options. I don't know what it is specifically, but that could really become a good trade, like a good solid first rounder. In 2029, the Wizards have second most favorable with Boston, Milwaukee, or Portland. That's good too. It's second most. In 2030, they'll have their first pick, and they'll have their own pick, and they'll also have the Golden State's protected pick. I think of the Jordan Poole trade, which actually might be useful, as they might not even have that good. And the protection's from 1 to 20, and if it protection works, it converts into a second rounder. Um, so it's heavily protected. And they also have Phoenix's 2030 pick. That's swap. And yeah, that's it. Also the trades that they've been doing, like, okay, the CJ McCollum trade, I understand, because they're trying to get young players and they're trying to, mentor them. But also, like I was talking about earlier, that cap space, that's something underrated. Like, they could really go get somebody, even though they're like a small market team, they could overpay for somebody. And, money in the NBA is really important. So they will probably accept it. And Cam Whitmore, I think, is an underrated guy. I think he's a bucket, in my opinion. I really like him myself. And they have a lot more players, like, hang on, I'm sorry. They have, obviously Alex Starr, who could be a great defensive player. Corey Kispert could probably be a good trade asset. Excuse me. Corey Kispert could be a great trade asset, as he's, a sharpshooter, and that's what the NBA needs a lot. They could probably do a package from Brooklyn or New York, because New York needs that what's it called? Off the bench shooting. They could probably use that. They also have Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley, who were traded in that Kelly Olynyk deal. I think those guys could really like. Blake Wesley was not good in Spurs, and Malachi was, you know, alright, but like I think those guys could blossom in as the Wizards, as they don't really they play free ball because they're trying to like develop these guys. They also have Malcolm Brogdon, who's a free agent. They could resign him and trade him. They also have Keyshawn George, who's a versatile player in my eyes. Like he's really like versatile. He can do a lot of things good in the NBA court. They also have Bub Carrington, who I think he's gonna play point guard this year. Trey Johnson, the sixth pick, a bucket getter that could really like develop into being one of the best scorers in the NBA. AJ Johnson, a prospect. I think he's a project in my eyes. He's a prospect that I think he'd become a great starter on a team. They might trade him this year as, they're trying to develop, but they could get some good stuff for him. CJ McCollum, like I said, to mentor. Cam Whitmore, obviously, I think he's going to be good, and he has potential to be all-star in my eyes. If he has minutes and the ball more, he could really become an all-star. And I think we're going to see flashes of that this year. Wole Coulibaly is also a great defensive player, athletic, 6'8". I think he could be a great defensive piece. They're also trying to make a lot of defense. Another free agency is Tristan Vucevic, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know his name exactly, but he's a free agent. I think restricted, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously Chris Middleton was picked up his player option, and he's gonna probably get traded. I think he might get traded because like they can swap him for assets because he's still a great 3-and-D guy. If like he's not a great 3-and-D guy, but he's a good 3 guy that's good enough for a team that's contending. They got Dylan Jones. They got Marvin Bagley the third. They got him back on the free agency, and Marcus Smart, who has that big deal, but like he's a great defensive piece, and I think they could use that in the NBA still. And that's really much it. I mean, head coach, I think they need to change. There's lots of stuff that needs to change in the front office, but if they could really do that, I think they're going to be contenders in at least max 10 years. Because minimum, they had to be contenders in 5 years for the playoffs. And that's in my eyes. Minimum. Yeah, because they got away from that Jordan Poole deal. They got away from that Kyle Kuzma deal. And really, I think they really have done a great job building this team, building this young core, and showing that they have promise in the future. And I think that's it, yeah. If you like this type of content, please subscribe and, like and comment your opinions. Thank you. Have a good day.